right, Side of Pancakes, episode 16. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, we're filming this on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, LMAO.
Laughing my ass off.
That's right. That's right.
If you didn't know what that meant.
Okay, just in case.
Just making sure everyone's aware.
Yep. It's going to be a good episode, Jeff. Looking forward to this episode like normal. Talking some comedies, man.
Our favorite comedies of all time.
Yeah. Favorite comedies of all time. There's a lot of them, obviously. And, we're going to talk about our first 5. But before we get into that, let's talk about the intro. We had to change our intro.
We did.
Yeah. Rob Bass and us, we could not come to a negotiating contract. He didn't understand the impact that we have on his song. Well, obviously he does, because we can't use it anymore.
We're averaging about 92 viewers per episode, and I don't think he realizes that we would have taken that song over the top, because not many people know about that song, from what I understand. It Takes Two. It Takes Two,
and we try to support him. But maybe we'll have him on the show one time, and we'll get it out in the open, and try to figure out this conflict. But as of right now, our negotiating teams just did not see eye to eye. But it could happen sometime.
We didn't own the rights to the song.
Nope.
Can't use it.
Yep.
And we made a shift.
We did. We adjusted. We did. We adjusted and adapted. The other option that we had was, and we really couldn't do it because I can't do it for more than 10 seconds, is the triangle that I do play, because I am under contract as well, and I cannot play it that often because my agent does not like me playing for more than 10 seconds. That's in a lot of my contract, because then you have to pay me. And I don't want to take any money away from our program.
We don't have the budget for that right now.
No.
We just don't have the budget for that.
Not at all. But you know what I would like to do, Jeff, is since we do have it right in front of me, and I do want to express my my musical talents, as you know, I think we should start a segment. And I'm going to play just a couple of little tunes for you on the triangle, and you try to guess the song that I'm going to play. Okay. Now, it should be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Because you know how I play.
Yeah.
All right. So, got it right here. Let me think about it. Go through this. Because I've been trying to do this one. Okay, I think I got it. Do you want to play it again?
Give it to me one more time. LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out.
Not even close, Jeff. That was Guns N' Roses.
Sounded just like it.
Guns N' Roses. Welcome to the jungle, Jeff. Welcome to the jungle. Everybody who's out there listening, I'm sure you got that. That was I thought it was very clean.
It was my fault.
Yeah,
it's my fault.
Must be some background noise for you, but that was good. But yeah, so move on to the next.
Let's talk that it's St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day.
So
yeah,
St. Patrick's Day. Let me ask you this: did you do anything for St. Patrick's Day last night? Because I'm sure the capital region was
they're waiting
through the roof with everybody hanging out and block parties. Did you do anything?
No.
Yeah.
Nope. Did not do a thing.
Avoided that.
What we didn't. What did I do last night? My night was pretty crazy. It consisted of taking the dogs out for a walk.
Okay.
And watching a couple of shows. My wife watched the show Beef, which I suggested to her. I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
No.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's Netflix. It's a great show.
We just canceled Netflix.
You did?
Yeah.
You cancel until something comes on, don't you?
Cobra Kai. But now everyone's giving me all these shows.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch
this.
this.
Now you're off season, you can catch up on some stuff.
Right. And every suggestion is, it's on Netflix. I'm like, of course we just canceled it because I couldn't find anything to watch. But
plenty of stuff. But yeah, my St. Patrick's Day weekend consists of walking dogs, watching shows. Yeah. I got an opportunity to me and The Rock. We spent some time yesterday, which is awesome. I always loving spending time with him. But it's not like the old days, Jeff. Before we get into that, what did you do to celebrate your St. Patty's Day weekend?
We went out with some friends up to the Bears in Duanesburg. Awesome Chateau Briand.
Yeah.
Cut of beef, just overate.
Yep.
Like crazy.
Okay.
But I have tons of leftovers, so I'll have some again tonight.
Yep.
But we were home by 9:30 or so.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy.
No.
At our age, we avoid the crowds.
We do, and it tends, when we go out, and we have a few of our good friends at school we tend to go out with every once in a while.
Yeah.
When we can get together. It seems like the glass slippers tend to come off around 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and that might be generous.
Yes.
Because I'll lay it out. It's pretty interesting how we operate now.
Yeah, yes, it is.
We'll do like maybe a happy hour, maybe.
Yep. And some dinner.
Or we go grab dinner. Usually it's a dinner date with all the boys, and after we eat, we have this. Oh, we'll go to this bar. We'll go to this spot.
Yes.
And we usually end up, if we're in Saratoga, we end up at that little spot, and we get ice cream. Like we're 10 years old. We're like, we might as well just go grab some ice cream.
Yes.
That little spot on Broadway.
Yeah. The
We're
Ben and
nuts.
Jerry's. And also, you're talking about where to go get to, we
They
get
have the
gelato.
gelato.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It starts off the dinner, and then we'll go to a bar restaurant and hang out, and music playing. We're all into it. Then we all look at each other like,
what are we doing? We're
what
tired.
are we doing here?
I'm exhausted.
We're exhausted.
That goes back to the baseball trip when we went to Texas. Mm-hmm. And you'll remember this because we go to Arlington and we watch the Rangers. Then we drive to Houston, right? Yeah.
Yep.
We drive to Houston. We're hanging out. We pregame a little bit for the Houston game. We're in, I forget what bar we were in. That was a cool spot. We're hanging out on couches, relaxing.
Yeah.
We get to the game. This is like the back end of the trip. You and I are sitting and watching the game, and you could tell, you get that feeling where your eyes sink in the back of your head, and you close your eyes and they burn a little bit. You're just beat from 3 days of activity, traveling, and you and I look at each other, and we were right on the same page, and we're like, you want to just take off and go back?
Yeah.
This was the third inning of the game.
Yeah.
And we got up and we left.
We did.
We're like, we've had enough.
Yeah. Well, it was 3 baseball games, really, because we when we did go, we caught that early. We ended up getting tickets to see Houston the night before, remember? Was that Houston? No, it was Houston. It was Texas.
That was in Texas.
That was Texas. So we saw like it was an extra game there that time, and that really kind of that wiped us out.
Yeah, I liked the Rangers ballpark more than I like Houston.
I agree.
Houston's right in downtown, and it's decent.
Yep.
And I get it. Like the atmosphere around the stadium was cool, the park, but I like the vibe in Arlington with Texas Live. You got the Cowboys Stadium right next to it.
Yep, it was much better. Yeah, and we're playing cornhole for like an hour before the game in 110-degree heat.
Like that's when you and I realized we needed to start taking cornhole a little more seriously.
Yeah,
because we were getting our ass kicked by everybody.
We were. But this is our summer though to do that. We're coming back.
Yes.
We're coming back this summer. We're going to show everybody.
I'm telling you this right now,
Yep.
and I said it last year,
Yep.
but I'm going to designate a night. There's going to be a designated night.
Okay.
If anybody wants to come over, bring the cornhole boards. Let's say it's Thursday nights possibly.
So that's what we're saying, Thursday nights.
We're
putting it
most
out
likely
there to
is
all
going
of
to
our
be
viewers
Thursday
now.
nights. Well, I don't know about the viewers.
Come on over.
They could make sure you bring some food. I mean, it's going to be it could be crazy with everybody coming over.
Absolutely.
But we'll. It's just a fun little sport.
Oh, it's great. It's
Hang
great.
out, relax,
A little competitive.
talk some trash.
Yeah. And there's some good players. A lot of guys play year round too. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of my coaches does. I know Ryan does.
Yeah.
He's in a little bit of a league, so they get a little jump start on us, man.
Yeah. Oh, big jump start.
Big jump start. So I got to get the boards out pretty soon. But it's almost that time. It's beautiful. It's been really. It's been great outside. It's love to see people out walking and stuff like that. So we just covered from Texas to Houston to cornhole to the weather. That's what we do here.
We're officially
we cover everything here.
Yeah, bouncing around.
A couple more weeks before we have another break, which is fantastic.
Yeah, April breaks early this year.
Yeah, April breaks are
Really
good.
early.
Yeah. No, it's good. What else is going on, man?
That's it, man. Season wind down, and gotta give a shout out to Catholic Central, won the Class A girls championship last night.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Colonial Council team and Audra DeBacco. really tough team. They're the team that knocked us out. Very good defensive team.
Yep.
They've got some kids that can really shoot it and attack the basket, and they brought a Class A championship home. So
yeah, Glens Falls for the boys again.
Yeah,
And
Stillwater boys
yeah,
too.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yep. I mean, Glens Falls, man, they're like machines up there. They're always very competitive, year in year out. Basketball, football. They do it right up there with athletics. They got some, and there's another Gerard always coming, or Lilac, in all those areas. They got some great athletes up there.
Yep.
Great coaches. Congratulations to those guys and the kids. It's a long season.
Sure
It's a
is,
grind, as we both know, and to be able to accomplish what they accomplished is special, man. Something that they'll always remember.
Absolutely.
So it's great. It's a great time. The March Madness is happening now, right? I mean, this last weekend, the one thing I did do on my St. Patty's Day weekend, which I think a lot of people did, was watch some basketball games. They're always excited. I love seeing the smaller schools, kind of get in the excitement of that, the upsets, and so on and so forth. So you get a chance to watch any of that? Well, you worked the games for the high school.
Yeah, your brother and I.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Stamping hands, getting people in, checking tickets. So it's our little duty. Once you get knocked out, you volunteer and do that. So it was good. It's good to catch up on some of those games, and love the atmosphere of Hudson Valley and Glens Falls.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Great atmosphere.
No, it really is.
Girls and
they
boys.
do a good job. Siena, when we play at Siena this year, that was a really good atmosphere too.
Yeah,
they did a nice job.
Yep.
The setup was great. It was good. It's funny you bring up Josh. I know a number of people watched the episode with us on it and enjoyed it. And the one feedback they kept expressing to me was the fact that I didn't bust on him enough. And I'm like, I got to give the guy a little bit of a break. He's got to, he's been through a lot. Between the horses and the pottery and. All
he gets
that
shout outs in here all the time.
He does. So you don't want to bust on him all the time.
He'll be on again. You'll have a chance to bust on him again.
Yes. He gets a lot. I'm excited, too, Jack. This week, which I will see him because he's in charge of it. The Mahonson Hall of Fame dinner is coming this Thursday. No, I'm not involved with it, but. One of my former quarterbacks, Patrick Barnes, who actually set a lot of records when I was the OC over there. He is going to be inducted.
Nice.
This Thursday, so I'm really excited to see him and obviously my brother and a lot of the guys who do a great job with that. So I'm looking forward to seeing him then, and I'm sure I'll have an opportunity to bust on him a little bit there as well.
And Barnes played hoop too, didn't he?
Barnes played hoop too.
6'5", 6'6". He's a big kid. Yeah, I remember.
And a young man who just loved playing sports, had a great demeanor about him, hilarious. One of the most just favorite kids to ever coach.
Nice.
He was an awesome kid. I've been blessed to coach a lot of kids, and Patrick accomplished a lot, and we had a great relationship. And when he reached out to me and asked me to come to his induction, I was very blessed to be able to accept that and to be hopefully obviously we'll be there for him. So we're looking forward to that.
We got to jump back to the tournament. You mentioned the tournament, and we got away from it.
We did, so always.
Yeah, that's what we do.
It's okay.
Who do you got?
Yeah, UConn,
right now.
man.
It's today's Selection Sunday, correct?
It is.
Correct? Yes.
Yeah, UConn.
So you're going UConn.
I'm going. I just like how they play.
Yeah.
I think they're the most consistent team. They haven't gotten blown out. I don't believe they have. So
Creighton gave them a tough game.
Creighton beat them
a week and a half.
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they. I do. I like them. Yeah. What happened with Houston yesterday, getting blown out like they did. It kind of will raise some red flags.
Yeah.
They haven't had a ton of success in the tournament, but obviously they're a great team. Yeah. There's a lot of good teams. Even the smaller teams are really good. So what about you? What do you got?
I'm a Carolina fan, and I got to roll with the Tar Heels. I hope they win it.
They're playing well.
They are. They lost last night to NC State, which I just found out this morning. I didn't get an opportunity to watch the game because we were out and about. But I'd like to see a UConn-Carolina final. But I think UConn is the best team in the country.
Yeah.
They just run. Their sets are phenomenal. The way they operate.
Yeah, Hurley family. They're good, man. Yeah, fun to watch.
Program.
Really, it kind of brings them back to the Calhoun era teams that he had, and with Rip Hamilton and
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen, the Big East, man. I mean, they were really, really good. So I love that time of year, and being able to throw the game on and be able to watch the game.
Is that do you think, throw this out there, do you think, I don't know if we brought this up before, that the opening weekend of the tournament, do you think that's the best sporting event or time period out of any sport you can think of? Like Super Bowl Sunday.
But you know what it is? Yeah, I mean, I think what sets the NCAA tournament apart from these other sporting events is how long it's a tournament.
Right.
So it makes it exciting, and I think so many people, are invested in it, not just financially, but
right.
as supporters and followers of their specific colleges. And so many kids are invited. It's so exciting to watch, because there's always going to be an upset.
You got your underdogs.
Yeah.
Last
7-10s, right? The 7-10s, the last second shots. I think
12-5.
Yeah, I mean it's.
There's talk of expanding it, which I completely disagree with.
I do too, man.
I get it. You get more schools in, and a little more money flows possibly, but we just ignore the tradition of things at times for more money.
Yeah, and too, it is. I guess it kind of goes back to even coaching, and I think you will attest to this too. Is you always want to do a little bit more. Do you instead of, then you always look back, right, and just do what we're good at.
Scale back and do what we do well.
And I think that we tend to do that with sports, and I understand that. And obviously, there's a lot of money in sports, so I get it in their aspect. But the tournament is just. It's exciting, man. It's exciting for these kids. I mean, 18, 21, 22-year-old kids. Being able to set their mark, in a big stage is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the women's tournament too, it's going to be so exciting. I mean, it's the Clark girl has taken basketball by storm.
Yeah.
And everybody, I bet you there's just as many people watching, the girls as there is the boys, which is awesome.
Yeah, the ratings are through.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's
good for the game, man. It's good for
Absolutely.
Listen, girls hoop is top notch.
Yeah.
If you're not watching, I know a lot of people. When I watch, and not just because I coach girls basketball, if there's a girls game on, a women's basketball game on college, I'll put that on. I'll flip back and forth, but most time I'm watching more of the women's game.
Mm-hmm.
I love the sets they run. The game is just
I know.
Is just evolved to a point where these girls are so skilled.
So skilled.
It's
fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I think I mentioned this before. Like my son Rocco, he loves the WNBA. He's been we'll get the NBA game, and we'll play the WNBA just as much as the pro game. It's pretty cool. So I think we talked about this, heading out to Connecticut to see the Connecticut Sun play. Whoever, when their schedule comes out, we're going to go out and see a pro game. I'd really like to do that.
Let me know.
Yeah, it'd be great. We should do that.
That's right. Is that Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun?
I think it's Mohegan Sun. Yeah.
All right, man. Want to jump into?
Man.
So we're not drafting. We're just gonna discuss some of our favorite comedies of all time. Mm-hmm. I'll let you.
I'm going first, huh?
Oh yeah, open up with.
Right.
Open
Well,
up
listen.
with one of your favorite comedies.
This is my all-time favorite movie. Of all time.
Of all movies.
And it goes in as a comedy, maybe some drama too. But I just it can fall into the comedy, and it's it's kind of funny because on March 24th, 1984, this is where the setting of the Shermer High School. It's the Breakfast Club, man. It's the Breakfast Club, my all-time favorite. I love it. Got a poster up in my room. I just love everything about it. But the
soundtrack is awesome.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite song. My kids have grown to absolutely hate that song because I play it so much.
Really?
And I told them, and Jeff, if it happens to happen, I told them at my funeral, I want that song, Don't You Forget About Me, played on repeat.
Loop it.
Keep repeating it.
Loop it.
And I told them if it does not get looped and repeated the entire time, I will haunt them.
I love it.
And so I do. I love that song. I love every character about it. It's just it's my all-time favorite. And you know what it is too? I really love how it relates to. And I've told you this before. My English class, I tie this in a lot.
Yeah.
It has to do with characterization and all the characters, and not just that, and how the social groups that how they all get along. They don't know each other going in,
Right.
or they have preconceived notions about each other, and they end up always kind of getting along at the end. And by far the best, my favorite movie, the best movie of all time.
Yeah,
in the
you
80s.
love that. You
Love The
that
Breakfast
movie.
Club.
I bring it up all the time.
Yeah, I put it on every, if I can't sleep, which is often,
That's what you put on?
That's what I'm watching. Watching The Breakfast Club.
So when we talked about doing this for the show, I always think of movies or songs when we rank these things, when we discuss the stuff. If it's on TV, do I have to keep it on?
Yeah.
And obviously that's one of those movies
Yep.
for you. You have to keep it on, even if it's in the background. You keep coming back to different scenes or whatever.
And you're walking and you're laughing at it, so you know a scene's coming up.
Yeah.
And you go in and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got?
So, man, I as we did this, I'm almost in like a certain time period of when I was selecting these different movies. So, I'll start with Old School, 2003.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Will Ferrell, Vince Vaughn. Like their humor, their approach, their delivery. I love it.
Will Ferrell, I mean, could argue, and Vince Vaughn too.
Yeah.
He is just how he articulates and how he comes across with his humor is just witty, sarcastic. So people it goes right over their head. Hilarious. And Will Ferrell, I mean,
One of the greatest of all time.
the scene where he sits in his Trans Am Camaro, wherever it was, and just revs the
the
area.
engine. Was he playing White Snake?
Yeah. And just his
Frank the
one
Tank.
liner, Frank the Tank, keep on trucking.
Yeah. And then, but what's the one we can relate? The thing is, they put a lot of stuff in their movies that is completely relatable.
Oh yeah,
things that we'll talk about. You bust around with
Yeah.
your friends and
Yeah.
talk about. What was it? We got a nice little Saturday plan. In Home Depot.
Yeah.
Bed Bath and Beyond. I don't know if we'll have time.
Yeah.
And the kids are just looking at them, and you're like, yeah, that's what we do on Saturdays. So
then he turns. He's like, okay, all right, just one.
Right. Feels so good when it hits the lips.
Yeah.
He's up there with Snoop.
Yeah.
Bring your
Snoop
hat.
a loop.
Then he's running and he's streaking, and it's the line, and there's so many good lines in these movies.
Yeah. Yep.
When he says to his wife, "Honey, you think Taco Bell's still open?" Dude, it's so good.
Even when he gets in ass first, and all this,
looks a little cold out there,
Frank. All right, just in just a little storylines that they have. It's Blue. The Godfather.
Yes.
And he's like so embarrassed by it. At home in the restaurant. Like what's going on here?
It's just a great.
I
can't turn it off if it's on.
No.
It stays.
Even the edited version, which is usually on like TNT or something, like that, you still watch it.
Absolutely,
it's because it's that funny. Yeah, that was definitely a top 3 movie for me as well. What a great movie.
And that was probably one of my favorite scenes of all time. Is God, I forget the actor's name. I should have looked it up. When they have the birthday party, and you got a dart in your neck.
Dart in your neck,
I like
man.
you, man, but you're crazy.
Yeah.
That is such a great
probably one of the best
scene.
scenes ever.
I'll tape that and send it to like my buddy Tim and Tom and Sean, those guys, and be like, "Hey, it's on." It's just such a great
you're
scene.
right. That's
Stifler.
Yeah,
that's not his name, but
it's
American Pie might come up, but yeah, we know him as Stifler.
Stifler.
There's a dart in your neck,
man.
Is this bad? Is this bad?
You're funny, man. You're funny.
I like you, man.
Yeah. What a good.
You're crazy, man.
So many. Yeah, definitely a number 1 draft pick. There's no doubt about it. That was like number 2 for me. 2, 3.
I'm doing these just randomly. I'm not ranking them.
No, I
know.
But it's right there. I mean, that is. When you look at the all-time greats, old school is definitely there.
Is Taco Bell still open?
Taco Bell still open? My number 2 is, again, these are all movies like you said. Kind of, if they're on, you're watching them.
Yeah.
And my number 2, we talked about this when we talked about the best sports movies. Is Major League.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
That's a great
Sets
movie.
back in the 80s and about this defunct Cleveland Indian teams and brings all these characters in. Tom Berenger, Charlie Sheen, They are just Wesley Snipes playing Willie Mays Hayes. There's so many great one-line. Joe Boo. Oh yeah, it's if you know, a lot of kids have, like, you know, I say kids, like, you know, like even from late high school to early 20s haven't seen that movie.
And what year was that?
1985, I think.
That was 85.
No.
No.
When was it? It came out.
That was early 90s, wasn't it?
You might have to look it up. Yeah, maybe like 90. I have to look it up.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was. But no, 85 was more my next one. I forgot.
I got you.
But it's a great baseball movie. Great baseball movie.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's only one thing left to do.
Win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Good movie. All right, what do you got, man?
So I'm gonna stay. You're gonna see a theme starting here with some of mine, but Step Brothers. Oh, yeah. Will Ferrell, and John C. Reilly.
You're a big Will Ferrell guy.
I love Will Ferrell.
Yeah, how can you not be?
Just his movies and his characters are always phenomenal. I just love his approach. So I thought John C. Reilly with him was a great combination. In this movie, I remember being in the movie theater, and we talk about completely just bursting out laughing. And I'm watching, and I'm just anticipating it's going to be hilarious. So that's part of it, too.
Yeah.
But the scene when they first move in, and they're having their first dinner together as a family, and they ask John C. Reilly, ask his character, you know, what do you do? You know, and he's like, I manage a baseball team. And she's like, oh, Little League? He's like, fantasy. I lost it because it's such real life stuff.
Oh, it is, and they take it seriously.
He was dead serious,
and we could say, we would, you know, hey, we manage a baseball team.
Yeah. And what does he say? He's like, I like chocolate chips. I like blueberries in my pancakes.
Yeah. Jeff, that movie, I'll never forget. My wife and I saw it at CrossGates Mall when it first came out. And my wife, I love her. God bless her. When she laughs loud and often. And I forgot what part of the movie it was, but it was early. And she just started laughing. I mean, so loud. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was laughing too, but I mean, loud.
Losing
it. It is a laugh out loud movie, hands down.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell. He's.
I think I laughed at that fantasy baseball team line, and nobody else in the theater really laughed that hard at it. I think it was just me.
Yeah.
And it just is one of those lines that hit you.
Yeah.
For me, it did. Mm-hmm. It just hit me, and I lost it.
Yeah.
But that whole scene, and there's always those scenes in comedies, and I know writers look at this stuff. It's the sit down and you're eating dinner scene, or the meal scene, where there's just wacky stuff being said, which I'm sure we'll hit on a couple more of these movies. But one of the best lines of Step Brothers as well, and we could sit here and quote these movies nonstop, but when John C. Reilly comes home, he's like, why are you so sweaty? And Will Ferrell's like, I was watching Cops. This just, what? It's so good.
Do you think Will Ferrell is you know, when you look back at it in the last, let's say, 15 years, is he like the guy that is, you know, when you talk about comedies, I mean, you know, I know I mentioned a couple, but mine are more, and again, you and I talk about this, that the maybe there's an age or generation gap that we kind of
refer to. And again, we joke about the age stuff all the time, but we're not that far apart.
No, we're not.
But it's that little gap of the ones that really hit you for those movies or music or whatever.
They're generational talents, you know. That are just,
without question.
Yeah, I mean, he's, you know, and you know what it is. When I see those guys, and I think he has before too, and I don't know how well they have actually done, like when he's been more of in a drama or something that takes him out of that realm of comedy. And I'm sure they probably, you know, Will Ferrell, you know, probably wanted to do that to get himself like maybe out of that comedic and show that he can do other things. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of actors feel like okay, I'm stuck in this genre, but I know I can do more. But it's okay that because they're so good at it.
You're top notch. You're the highest level. But I'll give you this. And Jim Carrey, we got some stuff here on my list with him. But Jim Carrey and the Truman Show. That was you know, wasn't an actual comedy.
Yeah.
he showed his strength as an actor and what he could do. I thought that was a great movie for him.
It was a good movie.
I love that movie. Yeah. He fit that role.
Yeah.
And did an awesome job.
Well, yeah, he's played a couple of roles that have been really good. And like I said, he's good. But like Will Ferrell is just like, he's probably one of the funniest guys in our generation.
He's one of those guys where he starts speaking and you're like, it's funny no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Just his reaction.
Yeah.
To anything.
Yeah.
And for me, and maybe
all
other
the time.
people might be like, he doesn't do it for me,
yeah.
which I get, but.
Yeah, I know. He's and he always comes out like every show he's ever been on, a night show. He's been on. We talk about Smartless. I love Smartless podcast there, and when they were going live at times during COVID, he came out. He's always in some kind of role. He never just comes out as himself.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And what's
Harry Carey from the Chicago Cubs announcer will just be in that character.
Yeah, he is. He's hilarious.
What about the line too in Step Brothers? There's so many room for activities when they're doing the bunk beds, and then the exchange they have with each other
with everything.
They have an exchange where he goes, John C. Reilly looks at Will Ferrell. He goes, "You and your mom are hillbillies." He's like, "I'm gonna fill up soap, put soap in a pillowcase, and beat the crap out of you in the middle." Just those exchanges.
And John C. Reilly's face.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll probably come up.
I know what you're already thinking. Talladega Nights.
Yeah. The two of them.
Yes.
I mean, really, I don't know if that's on your list or not.
I don't have it, but
me too. It's in that.
It's a great movie.
Honorable mention, top. I mean,
yes.
They are shake and bake.
Yeah. Jesus was a man. He had a beard.
Yeah. I know.
I mean that, and again,
thank you, baby Jesus. Thank you, baby Jesus.
That's another scene where they're sitting eating dinner.
At the table.
There's a buckets of Kentucky Fried Chicken all over the place. Taco Bell.
Yeah. Candy.
Yes.
All kinds of crazy stuff.
And like, what'd you guys do today? And the boy's like, we threw Grandpa's World War II medals off a bridge. And you're just like, what? That's great stuff.
It is.
That's great stuff.
Yeah, they're iconic. There's no doubt about it. My next one, Jeff, and again, it's kind of my genre, that 80s genre and early 90s. This came out actually in 2010. A movie that brings you back to the 80s is Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes, I have. It's funny. I knew you're going to bring up ones that I've probably only seen once or twice.
Yeah.
I've seen it once.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Hilarious.
It was really good.
Oh God.
Yeah.
John
really
Cusack was one of my
love
favorite.
John Cusack.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
It's about these three friends who the friend Lou, who's hilarious. I can't remember his name as an actor, but he's kind of like the troubled one, and they go back to ski lodge, which they grew up and had the best times of their life there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and you're talking about an iconic comedian, Chevy Chase is in it, and I love Chevy Chase. He's great. He makes kind of a cameo in it, and they put some Chernobyl on this on the hot tub, and it brings them back to the 80s. And they look in the mirror, and it's them, and they kind of have to relive a scene through that time period. And Lou, the disgruntled one, ends up. They all kind of go back, but then he doesn't go back, and he makes, instead of Google, he makes Lugal. He's the lead singer for Poison.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It's nostalgic.
God! It just brings you back to the. It shows you the big gray cell phone when it opens. I'm talking to you on my cell phone.
Yeah.
It's this huge thing, and all the bright colors. And they walk into the ski lodge, and Alf is on the and then they talk about Michael Jackson. Is Michael Jackson black? And they're like, and the guy just runs out. Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of little.
I gotta watch that again.
It's a great.
I saw
Hot Tub Time Machine
2
came out. Again, a lot of sequels aren't very good. That one was not.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah. I wouldn't suggest to you to recommend.
Sometimes
that.
It's just pushing it too far. It's like, just let it go.
Just let it go. It's okay to be.
And I don't have The Hangover on my list, but I love The Hangover.
Oh God,
this is one of the hardest ones to do.
Yeah, because there's so many.
There's so many great movies.
So many really good movies.
But these are like ones, like I said to you, if they're on.
Yeah.
And a lot of these are on all the time, like TBS, TNT, and you're flipping through and like, I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
So this one, when we talk about like atmosphere, and this one, I love when they play it in the fall because it looks like it takes place in like October or late September. Meet the Parents.
Oh yes,
Did
the
you have that?
Fockers.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have it
Yeah.
down. But again, it should be.
Ben Stiller.
Oh God.
Robert De Niro. You know, when again they're
What was the
sitting.
cat's name? Jingles?
What's that?
What was the cat's name? Was it Mr. Jingles?
Mr. Jingles.
Was
it? I think
I
it
think
was.
it was. I think it was.
I didn't write down the. I didn't write down the.
Yeah.
But that was that whole spray paints the tail, and then again like the dinner talk.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there hanging out, and he's talking about how he grew up on a farm in Detroit, and how he would milk cats. And De Niro goes, "I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?" I mean,
And De
those are
Niro,
great lines.
and that's the whole thing. And that's the way you just appreciate how writers write, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Robert De Niro saying that line,
Yes.
right? You know, it's you know, like he was
Iconic.
and you know, there's a movie that I didn't have down. I think, and I'm almost positive it was Bad Grandpa. Did you see that one with him in it?
I don't think I
Dude,
saw that.
you got to see it. Have to see it. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. Right?
And he's crossed over as much as we talk about
To comedy.
guys doing comedy,
Yeah.
and that he is completely
Oh my God.
transitioned and
All
been
comedy.
phenomenal in movies.
I mean, he's one of the guys who can do that.
Yes.
You know? And I think that's a lot of guys can, but some it's just belong in that genre. You like I couldn't take Will Ferrell, you know, serious if he was in like a movie like Rambo.
No.
But Robert De Niro, I could see him doing that.
Robert De Niro could be
you know,
in
there's
any
just
type of
some-
film possible.
Yeah.
And it's not a knock on Will Ferrell. It's
No.
just he's so good at what
He
he's
does.
done
Oh yeah.
that it's like
He's the Mount Rushmore of comedy.
yeah.
He really
and that's
is.
probably the hardest to transition out of.
Yeah.
You're a comedian.
Yeah.
And then you want to move into, I want a little bit more of a serious role. It's way easier.
Yeah.
And I'll bring this one up now, Dumb and Dumber. So Jeff Daniels, I watched this whole thing yesterday.
Yeah.
About Jeff Daniels basically saying that Jim Carrey came out and said, I don't want another comedian, a set comedian in that role with me because it's going to be almost like a competition. And we're one-upping each other. So he said, let's try to get somebody who's not a comedian but wants to transition into it.
Yeah.
So they take Jeff Daniels. And Jeff Daniels tells the story how they filmed the first scene. The first scene that they filmed was them riding into Aspen, where he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, I gotta pee. He's like, just go, man. He goes, we filmed that the first day. He goes, then I filmed the rest of the week and Jim wasn't there. He goes, and I suddenly, slowly realized I'm still auditioning to see if I'm going to be in this movie.
Oh yeah. Wow.
And he goes, I was really kind of putting it all together.
Yeah.
He goes, I did not see Jim Carrey for a week.
Really?
And he goes, I'm still auditioning. He goes, so we did
know
this,
that.
the snowball scene where he hits the girl in the face with the snowball,
yeah.
which is hilarious.
Yes.
They get to the end of the week of filming. Sunday morning. He goes, I get a call. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, great. And he goes in, he's getting makeup done or whatever. And Jim Carrey walks by him and just like hits him on the back. And he's like, keep doing what you're doing. They love you. But Jeff Daniels' self-awareness just knew.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have this role yet.
Yeah.
And he goes, I know they had somebody as an understudy that if they looked at me and said, nah, he's not cutting it, which I thought was a great story.
Yeah.
And it's a hilarious movie.
Is it? Do you ever? It's the backstory how so many other actors or actresses were going to get these certain roles, but then they kind of end up getting it. Like Judd Nelson in The Breakfast Club, they actually fired him because it just didn't fit, and they were looking for other people to do it.
Yeah.
And he ended up coming back and doing the movie because they really did like him, but they fired him because of a couple of things where he didn't like it, and then they couldn't. You know,
They bring
agree
someone
with him.
else in and it doesn't have the same.
Yeah, and it wasn't
feel.
the same. Yeah,
Right. The
And
chemistry of it.
The chemistry of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he, you know, they both play just great movies.
Yeah.
Great movies. It's really hard to you know, we all have our favorites, right? Like obviously like with the Breakfast Club, you know, like I told you before, kind of comedy, a little drama.
Yeah.
But you know, all you can make an argument for a lot of movies of being like just the funniest of that generation. I don't think you do. It's hard to do a funniest all time, you know. But each generation, each you know,
It's just
time
like
period-
music.
Yeah.
Sometimes the sound of music changes. It obviously
Yeah.
changes over time, but then people will go back to a certain sound. So the physical comedy.
Yeah.
You know, you'll get Jim Carrey kind of does a lot of that with some of the physical comedy. Man, I don't even have it on the list. Liar Liar was a funny movie.
God, yeah.
I didn't put it down.
Me, Myself, and Irene.
Me, Myself, and Irene.
God.
Cable Guy.
Cable Guy.
So-
He had a good run. He had
For a while,
really good
he
run.
was- he was
the
the
guy.
guy.
He was
So-
the guy.
Ace Ventura comes out in 1995. And Tim and I, we would play that on loop.
Oh, yeah.
It was just, you know, like he delivers the package. The guy goes, sounds broken. He goes, probably is. You know, most likely, sir. Just those lines. He's driving the car with his head out because the windshield's all messed up. It's just, you know, Ray Finkel.
Ray Finkel, wide right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Laces,
good
it
run.
was Laces. What was it?
Laces Out.
Laces Out. That's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
What do you know? They're little footballs.
Yeah.
He's at the psych ward. It's
Yeah,
just,
he does. He's
Jim
one
Carrey
of those
had a great run.
guys. Absolutely. No, he's great. You know, I'm going back to, you know, the one which, you know, a movie that if it's on late at night is which I love, and you know, I already mentioned Chevy Chase as being an iconic comedian during it, you know, primarily during the 80s. You know, got into the 90s, early 2000s with the Vacations. You know, Christmas Vacation, everything else is Fletch. I love Fletch. You know, and I know a lot of people have not seen it because obviously it's older. 1985 it comes out, but you know, Chevy Chase plays as a news reporter, kind of goes undercover, and he is everything he does is it has some kind of comedic end to it in any of the scenes. It's crazy, you know, how he gets away with some of his conversations. He makes up all these different characters,
Right.
and all these one-liners, and
Fletch. Fletch is a good one.
Oh, it's a great movie. I definitely encourage the younger groups to see it because it is definitely worth seeing. A lot of great one-liners, but yeah, Fletch is really, really good. Really
So I
good.
got this one from 1995, and at one point this was the most rented movie at your Blockbuster or Hollywood Videos of all time.
What was this now?
1995.
Okay.
One of the most rented videos of all time. Friday.
Oh yeah. Ice Cube.
Chris Tucker and Ice Cube.
Oh my God.
I love Chris Tucker.
Yeah, Chris Tucker.
Tucker's one of my
he's-
favorite
he's so
just
funny.
in all of his comedies. Like
Yeah.
Money Talks. He was in that with God, who was it? Charlie Sheen.
Yes.
That's one that not many people
And he
have
plays the
probably
same
seen.
guy. He plays the same kind of a character.
He does, and that's like Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
But what was the movie when the Bradley Cooper is the Philadelphia Eagles fan? Chris Tucker's in it.
Silver Lining Playbooks.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So
Jennifer Lawrence.
Chris Tucker
Yes.
took that role because he didn't
Yes.
want to stay in the stereotypical roles that he was in.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a really good job
Did a
in
great
that
job
movie
with
as
that,
well.
yeah.
And then what was he in? The story of with Michael Jordan. It was on Amazon Prime with Ben Affleck.
Oh, you're talking about the Nike story?
Yeah, about
Yes.
Nike.
Yeah.
Air Jordan. He was in
Yeah.
that. He did a good
Yep.
job in that.
Really good job.
But-
Air. It was called Air.
Air.
Yeah.
But Money Talks.
Jason Bateman.
Yes. Friday. Money Talks.
He was hilarious. Just
Even Next Friday, when we talk about
Yes,
sequels,
yes.
I like Next Friday
Next Friday was
almost
pretty
as
good.
much as Friday.
I agree with you. Yeah.
They go in the
It's not a lot of-
suburbs.
yeah,
that was a good movie
That was
as
a
well.
really good movie. Yeah. That Chris Tucker is.
And John
is-
Witherspoon plays Ice Cube's dad in Friday. He was a great character.
He was with Jackie Chan too, wasn't he? Chris Tucker and
Yeah. What were those? Those were good movies too.
I can't remember what the
I
movies
can't
were.
think off the top of my head now.
Yeah, but they were really. He was again really great comedian.
Yeah.
Very
They're a good
great
combo.
Yeah. Again, I'm going back. It's just funny how we always talk about these generations, right?
Yeah, because I'm like late '90s,
Yeah, and I'm
then
80s.
early 2000s with where most of my
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I have there's a few here. That one of the ones I absolutely love is Beverly Hills Cop with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, it was the Detroit Lions jacket, so that's why I always think of it.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's so good in that movie with the two cops. He comes into town because one of his friends gets shot, and he just flashes his badge. He comes up with all these different characters, takes over a home to live in for the entire week, and and it's true though. Back in the day, because my father was a CO. All right,
Yeah.
and this is why I thought it was funny because if it didn't happen very often, but I remember it happened at least twice. And my father got pulled over, right? And he was a CO, and he flashed his badge and you let him go, and it was a correction officer badge. Okay, great.
still,
They give a good respect to them, right? And in this movie, he would Axel Foley would flash his badge. He went into the house and he goes, "I'm an inspector. Everybody needs to leave." And he would just take over. Yeah. And he did it time and time again. It did just different roles, and he was just a great movie. Eddie Murphy at his best. He was another iconic actor during that time period. Played a lot of different roles, a lot of different comedies. He was good. Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop, 1984. Definitely worth seeing. You older generation, younger generation guys.
Yeah. Absolutely. Man, what have I got here? Wedding Crashers, 2005. Oh, yeah. Again, Vince Vaughn. Owen Wilson I like as well. I think Owen Wilson is really so good. Funny. Even when we go back to, let me go back to Meet the Parents for a second. He is Ben Stiller's
nemesis in a way.
Ex. Yeah. He's Ben Stiller's girlfriend, ex-boyfriend.
The ex-boyfriend.
And he goes to the house, and the house is like a $3 million home.
Yeah.
The pool's enclosed.
Yes.
He's just talking about
I just whittled this for you.
Yeah, I just whittled this, and it's like this unbelievable. Yeah. So good. He looks off to the side. He's like, she was a tomcat.
Yeah.
And there's just Ben Stiller's looking.
Him and Vince Vaughn, they have so many very similar kinds of comedic ways about them. They're so good.
Well, Owen Wilson is funny without trying to be funny.
No, yeah.
That's where he comes in with his lines and how he is.
Yeah.
It's just
those two.
He's like, "Oh, you're a nurse, so you give back."
Yeah.
His.
But Wedding Crashers with the two of them are the scene in the front yard when they're playing football.
That's
Vince Vaughn saying, "Hot route, hot route." He's like, "What do you mean?
What's a hot
route?"
Yeah.
Right. And then the whole it's hilarious.
And Vince Vaughn's line. He's like, I was all-state quarterback. I can put it where you want. I'll make it rain out there.
Make it rain out there.
Later on, he's like, he stuffed the sock in my mouth that we were playing football with. He's like, what? And the
crab cakes and football.
Yep, crab cakes and football. It's what Maryland does.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper.
He was great in that.
When you actually hate a character, they're doing a good job.
You hated him.
Because you're like, this guy.
Yeah. What a jerk.
And then you've got Christopher Walken's in that as well.
One of my favorites of all time.
Great role for him.
No, he was, And again, going back to the writers. And these movies, I think that, if you just place another actor or actress in these roles, it might not have came out the way it came.
But what about Will Ferrell making the cameo that he's crashing? Oh, yeah. He's
Meatloaf now.
But he's crashing funerals.
Yeah.
Dude. And it's like the humor behind that.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
man, I've been killing it. Killing his funerals.
It's like funerals is where it's at.
That's where it's at.
And he's dead serious.
Yeah.
I come in, Owen Wilson, there's cartoons on, it's your mom, there's a skateboard on the ground, he goes.
And the good-looking girl comes downstairs.
Yeah, babe, whatever you need.
Babe. Whatever you need, babe. Whatever you need. Yep, see ya.
He's like, boyfriend died in a skydiving accident. What an idiot.
Who goes skydiving?
It's so good.
Yeah, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff.
Oh.
There's a few. I'm gonna go to Groundhog's Day.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Groundhog's Day with Bill Murray. I'm a big Bill Murray fan. Going back to Caddyshack too. I mean, he's just.
You like Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters. You think I have a new one coming out? I'm gonna go see it.
Do they?
Yeah. Yeah,
right.
Bill Murray.
His delivery. He's another one.
Oh yeah,
the way he delivers lines.
Very
his
Vince Vaughn
facial expression. Yes,
very Vince Vaughn.
That's true. That's a great comparison.
Very Vince Vaughn.
That is
very witty, articulate. Slides his humor in, and you're like, oh, I didn't catch that one. Yeah,
that's a great.
He is. I've always thought that him and Vince Vaughn were very similar, but Groundhog's Day, Puxatawny, Pennsylvania. They go and they kind of wait for this whole Groundhog's Day. Then he just wakes up every single day with this. In the scene where he steps in the puddle all the time, it just cracks me up. Then he just moves aside.
Such a great concept for a movie.
It really is. Because we always talk about it too. Like it's like going to work every day. It's like we just wake up and keep doing the same thing over and
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah.
We're very routine, and then we know that we try to break out of that routine.
Yeah.
But he does a great job there. He really good, really good movie. Definitely one of those who, again, you stay up and you gotta watch. Gotta watch that one.
I love Bill Murray. I gotta go with back to Will Ferrell, Anchorman. You know, just it's the pancake breakfast. We do it every month. You know,
Oh, yeah.
when this is all over, the sports anchor. When this is all over, we should get an apartment together. He's like, all right, just ease up, champ. Just ease up. He's walking through San Diego. It's probably 95 degrees and humid.
Yeah.
He's drinking milk. He's
Yeah.
like, milk was a bad choice. Just great lines. Then Paul Rudd, one of my favorite lines from the movie, when he's got that entire ensemble of cologne.
Oh yeah.
And he hits it,
Yeah.
and the Panther comes
Was
out.
it Black Panther?
Sex Panther or
Sex
something
Panther, yeah.
like that. And he's like, it's illegal in however many countries. And he's like, I got to be honest with you, it smells like pure gasoline. He goes, they've done studies, 60% of the time it works every time.
Yeah.
Those exchanges are awesome.
yeah.
Paul Rudd's underrated as well. He is phenomenal.
No doubt. No, he's played in multiple different roles. He's been really good at a lot of different genres of movies.
Yeah.
He's been really. But again, how did they? I wonder how hard it is for them to do all of these skits and not laugh at each other.
It's funny you say that.
I mean, it's just how many takes do they have to have?
Tim sent me a clip, outtakes from Anchorman. Will Ferrell, a lot of the time, they just say, all right, go.
Yeah.
And it's
Ad-lib it,
not
yeah.
in the script.
Yeah.
And then they just start rolling with things they're saying. I mean, they may be giving him something in his earpiece, but then they start cracking up. So that the outtakes have to be through the roof.
Yeah.
I mean,
But how
could you
much
not?
fun, going back to some of these great comedic actors, how much fun if you get a script and you know that you're working with Will Ferrell or Chevy Chase or Eddie Murphy or Vince Vaughn. If you got a comedy that you're going to be working with,
Yeah.
these guys. It's another guy who we mentioned and is in a lot of these movies is Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
He is another great actor. Has played in a lot of different genres of movies.
Yes.
Haven't seen too much in an action movie, but these more the drama, the comedies.
Right.
He's again what a great act. In
The Hangover.
The Silver Linings Playbook, man.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Him and Jennifer Lawrence were great together.
They really were.
I mean, just funny. But what a good actor. He's awesome. Definitely one of my wife's favorite too.
I don't have the Hangover on here, but I mean,
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, his cameo, that's a classic one.
Yeah.
That's on TV. You can just throw it on and
All
keep
the time.
watching
Yeah.
it.
And even The Hangover 2 was good.
Yeah.
The Hangover
the
2
sequel
was good. The sequel was
Yep.
really, really good.
The breakup with Vince Vaughn. And I'm just throwing them
Jennifer
out there.
Aniston, right?
Jennifer
Yeah.
Aniston.
That was
When she's got a date and he's playing Madden.
Yeah.
And he's talking trash while he's playing Madden. It's just totally relatable. He's like, I can't take all the credit. I got to thank these little digital guys on the screen. Just lines like that. Besides the story of the movie.
Again, going back to Vince Vaughn, right? One of the movies I had down was Couples Retreat. Ever seen Couples Retreat?
Couples Retreat is
Him
awesome
and Jason
as well.
Bateman.
Yeah, I have it
John
written down.
Favreau. When they have to go to the other island and he plays the
Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero with him.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It was just just
And
ripping
Bateman's
away.
great in that.
Oh,
He's
Jay,
giving
listen,
a presentation. I know you love Bateman. I love Bateman.
He's like probably my top favorite
Yeah.
actor of all time. I love him.
Yeah.
His witty. He has a movie that I wrote down too called Bad Words. Okay.
Okay.
That is, I am telling you, you have to see it.
I haven't seen it.
Jeff. It is the concept is the whole plot of it is awesome.
Yeah.
It's about this guy who he drops out of high school or drops out of school at a young age, and I think it's by fourth grade or something like that. and he's unable to compete in the spelling bees. But because he dropped out at an early age, he can go back at any time.
Eligibility.
He has eligibility to go in here. So what he does is he walks into this auditorium where all these fourth graders, Jason Bateman as a 30-year-old man, right? And he takes a seat. Everybody's looking at him. He says, and he brings the. He goes, no, I can legally do this. And so, and he's talking crap to these younger kids.
When did this come out?
Oh, I don't remember when it was.
It was a while back.
It was hilarious. So he'll talk crap to these kids like, hey, he goes, I know your mom. I know your mom. I know what she's doing. I know what she's doing. And there's no way, if you get this word right, it ain't happening for you. Mom and dad are breaking up. He's talking to this fourth grader. And he goes up there and he asks like a simple word and he'll sit down. It's okay. It's okay. Mom and dad are going to be okay.
That's
but
so
they're
funny.
really, really
I don't know if I've ever even heard of the movie.
Let me tell you something. He has so many movies that are like, just like have, I don't think people would know.
Yeah.
As
they didn't
much.
hit huge, but they're good.
Oh my God. Just he's the best. But you have to, that is a must watch one. You got to watch Bad Words. It is hilarious. It's just him. And he does this over and over again. Like he goes about 5 or 6 of these, and the whole underlying thing is that his dad was the one-time judge of all these spelling bees, and he never did it. He had something going on with him and his dad, so he came back, and he wanted to see his dad at the end to defeat. But yeah, he's all in with these fourth graders, and he talks crap to them all the time. And he it's funny. They give him the trophy. He grabs the trophy. He walks out of the auditorium like this, showing all the parents.
Yeah.
And he walks out. It's great.
You know what one just jumped into my head, which I absolutely love. It's just
I know.
Look at these lists. And I think it was called Tag.
Oh my God.
Where the friends from high school.
Yes.
Then it's sad at the end because the guy's sick.
And it's a real. It's not based on a true story. Yes.
But what's his
Jeremy
name?
Renner.
Yeah,
Right?
Jeremy Renner's like the one that they can't get.
Him too.
I love that movie.
Oh, hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. You start, different ones start jumping into your mind.
I know.
It's like when I go, yesterday in the morning, I'm like throwing on music.
Yeah.
And like it's when I go to listen to certain things, like when we're cleaning the house or whatever, and you can't remember the song, you're like, oh, what's that one song I haven't heard in a long time? That happened when I was doing this list sometimes. You're like, there's so many.
You know what it is too. What I love about us doing this too. This is just, it's conversation, man. And I enjoy this. I think you do too. During our,
I hate it, to be honest.
The third period, whenever we kind of get together, we just talk about this stuff, and this is like water cooler kind of hangout, kind of banter that we're talking about.
Absolutely.
It's good stuff because a lot of these things you forget about some of these movies, and I'm sure after the episode we'll be like, oh my God, we forgot about this movie or that movie. But
there's like Ghostbusters. I said it before, so you're gonna see there's great one-liners in that. Bill Murray's awesome in that.
He's again iconic. These guys are just a couple of ones kind of round out some of the ones. Hall Pass.
Hall Pass is a good one. Something About Mary.
Something About Mary. Oh yeah, my wife just put that on the other night. What is Bet Favre?
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, he is. Ben Stiller's great. Hall Pass is one of my favorites. When they talk in the beginning, Luke Olson and Owen Wilson and Jason Sudeikis said, "Hey man, remember when we rocked it our junior year on JV basketball? I was dying.
Yeah.
I was dying.
Yeah.
It was just
because those are conversations that really happen.
And then they go when they're Hall Pass. They go to Applebee's. Hey man, we got to go to Applebee's.
Yeah. That's the spot.
That's the spot. Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah, man. Listen, this was fun. This was fun. A lot of good shows, and a show we didn't bring up. One more I gotta mention because it was iconic during me growing up. Is Spaceballs. I think I told you this. You just remember how you were when you were a kid. It was 1987. I was 13-year-old. We were playing baseball back in the day. It was summertime. It was showing at the Mohawk Mall for free at 9 a.m. And me and I think it was 7 or 8 of us, we rode our bikes to Rotterdam Square in the morning. We saw the movie. We then later on in the afternoon we had a 4 o'clock baseball game. Then all of us went again later on during the night at like a 7 o'clock movie back to Mohawk Mall and saw it again. 2 days of Spaceballs, but it was
John
just,
Candy's in that.
it's just so many good. Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
You know, it's an iconic movie. Definitely worth seeing.
Is there any? Because this happened to me a couple weeks ago. Is there any movie that you remember? You're like, I remember this movie being pretty funny, and it was pretty good, and I haven't watched it in a while. And then you put it on, and as you're watching it, you're like, it's not doing it for me anymore. Has that happened with any comedies? Because I got one, and I want to hear if you have one specifically for myself.
Go ahead.
Raquel has never seen.
Go ahead.
I'm like, we gotta watch this. Wayne's World.
Agreed.
Like,
I agree with that.
It was.
Yeah.
There's a couple lines that I love.
It was very hyped up.
Yes, but I remember when I watched it back in the day, I'm like, oh, it's hilarious.
Yep.
And I put it on now, and we're about 25, 30 minutes into it, and I'm kind of looking at her. I laughed at a couple things. I'm looking at her, and I'm like, and she then looks at me and goes, it's not as funny as you remember, is it? I go, it's not.
No.
I go, it's not.
It came out right when I was in college.
Yeah. So that's one that kind of...
Yeah. No, it was a good movie that Michael Myers was in a long time ago, which I loved, was So I Married an Axe Murderer. Did you ever see that one? That was a great one. It goes. It's the whole plot is the fact of him kind of dating this girl he kind of really starts to like, but he thinks her background checks out that she's killed like 3 of her former boyfriends.
Yeah.
And Michael Myers plays like 5 different roles in that movie, and he's another guy, sort of Saturday Night Live guy who started out and he made a lot of really iconic movies.
Austin Powers.
Oh yeah, of course.
I haven't gone back and watched that.
Yeah, that one I would say, you mentioned that. Going back and looking at it, thinking this is funny. That one to me, like that was
Not as
another movie
funny.
that came out around that time.
Yeah.
And not as funny, but good.
Yeah.
We're seeing.
Right.
Not as good.
One we didn't mention that is always funny if it's on, 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh yes.
That one's good. I love his boss at the electronics store.
Yeah.
She always plays a great character.
Yeah.
I forget her name is tall woman, blonde hair. Mm-hmm. She always plays a bizarre, off the wall.
Oh god, yeah, and very sarcastic.
Yes,
very
hitting on everybody
all the time.
It's
good. No, he is. It's a lot of good.
All right, man.
Yeah,
episode 16.
Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day. Good luck to everybody in the tournament. Congratulations again to all the Section 2 winners. Keep it rolling. Enjoy the weather as it comes. We turn to spring, we hope, and Mother Nature doesn't treat us bad and give us some more snow.
Yeah,
let's look ahead of time.
Let's hopefully it stays 50.
Number 17 coming up next. It should be an interesting one.
Sounds good, man.
All right,
Peace
man.
out.